Alright, hey guys, I'm here to talk about episode 5 of season 2 of House of the Dragon. So let's get into it. But just so y'all know, like, if I were to like rate this episode, like I would rate it from like or 6 or 7 out of 10. But it wasn't like a bad episode. It was just like kind of like okay. So straight like that, the episode just starts off with us being at Driftmark. Corlys Velaryon, he's just in shambles. He's sad. Like, our girl Rhaenys is gone. Like, not coming back, and Elise is gone. Okay? He's just basically in his castle at high tide. He's lost everything. Like, Rhaenys, his daughter, Rhaenyra, supposedly. And then, of course, Rhaenyra. So, Rhaenyra knows she's just lost her one of her biggest allies on the council. One of the biggest dragons Targaryen, Elise, is dead. Was like the almost second biggest to Vhagar, I believe. Yeah, and also she's just distraught. Like, she's just keeps, in a way, losing a little bit to the Greens. Because just of the lack of, like, armies not really coming fast enough. And Daemon not hurrying up enough. And then what took it home for me was the fact that these dumb motherfuckers paraded Melee's head throughout King's Landing. Why would you do that? Like, and then of course, like, I don't know whether this is Aemon's idea or this is Kristen Cole's idea. I almost called him Crispin. But what is it? Like, this is just really demolishing the whole Targaryen dragon myth of why they're feared. It's the dragons that gives them, the Targaryens, their power. Like, why would you parade dragons, the symbol of your house, throughout King's Landing? Not even Maegor the Cruel would do that. Anyway, besides that, now we have Alicent and Aemond looking over from the castle, King of the Red Key. Basically, they're waiting for Aegon's body, his burnt body, to be rolled in carefully in this crate because they can't have the people knowing that their king is injured. Meanwhile, they left Sunfire at Rook's Rest. The dragon is injured. Why would she stay at Rook's? Anyway, justice for Sunfire. So basically, Alicent, like, she basically, like, realizes that Aemon has the cat's ball dagger. I feel like she's still trying to look for what Rhaenyra told her about the prophecy and everything. But anyway, so Alicent, she asked if, like, her son is okay. She asked, is he going to live and all this stuff. And all I can really think of is she really tries to be sympathetic or empathetic to her children, but she really can't. It's like a weird concept for her. Very much a weird concept. But Aegon, the armor is melting on the boy. All of a sudden, it's just a whole lot of mess. Aegon's armor is on him, like Aegon the Conqueror's armor, and it's melting. And Alicent just doesn't know how to react. All of a sudden, what happens next is, so Rhaenyra's council is just discontent as hell. Like, it's just the men at this table are just always trying it. Like, no, my queen, we should do this, and no, my queen, please sit down. You should stay hidden. And it's just like, okay. So basically, no one wants to listen to Rhaenyra because they're just like, well, you have no experience with war. And Rhaenyra's like, what the fuck are you talking about? We have lived under 80 years of peace the same without war. What do you know about war? She clocked it. No shade. She clocked it. It's like they do the same thing. Like, the whole point of this show is like they don't support Rhaenyra because she's a woman. It's like they do that thing of, oh, we don't want to listen to you because you're a woman. Or we kind of don't want to listen to you because we know that in society, women are taught other things like politics, like society, not really war. So it's like we're kind of being misogynistic, but we're not. It's like they do talk around her, but then they kind of like include her because it's like, we are fighting for you. But these men still have misogynistic tendencies, as anyone would when they're trying to in society. But yeah, it's just a parallel. But we'll mention the parallel between this council and the Green Council a little later. Then here comes Jace. All of a sudden, I'm just tired of sitting around here and not doing nothing. And he's talking to Bela. He's just like, and my mother goes to just send you out and does everything. And it's just like, oh my God. You can tell it's just like a little bit of jealousy because Bela is given everything. And she's kind of like this mirror of Daemon because she is Daemon's daughter. And then it's like she gets jealousy from Rhaenyra because Rhaenyra doesn't have a dragon. And then it's like Bela is one of the more... It's not really... It's like they think it's more of she's the favorite or she's chosen. But it's just like, no. It's like she's a dragon rider for Rhaenyra. And it's like, I don't want to lose another son for for Jace. Like, this scene was just a lot. Like, I don't know. So, Daemon is still in Louigis mansion, just hallucinating like hell. Obviously, he's having weird dreams. Magic of the Riverlands is taking over, whatever. Harrenhal haunting. It's really just Alice Rivers just really fucking with his mind. But yeah, he has a dream that he is having sexual activities with his mother, Alyssa Targaryen. And it's like she's telling him, you should have been king if only you were born first before Viserys, you are the strongest and all this. It makes me wonder, does Daemon really want to be king? I think he's always wanted to be king, but he knows it's just not his place. He rather is a fighter for his family. I think what's happening is the magic in Harrenhal, the Riverlands, or Alice Rivers, mainly her, she's playing with his mind, kind of making his more subconscious come out of him in Harrenhal. But she's making him hallucinate. It's like, I don't know, it's like she's controlling him in a way. Daemon, still, trying to collect people for his army in the Riverlands. He tries to get the Brackens to basically just bend the knee, and they're just like, we'd rather burn. And it's just like, this is the men he exactly needs. But he would like to burn these men, but he understands that he needs as much men as he needs to fight this war and take over King's Landing. So, yeah, he wants the Blackwoods to compromise and persuade them to join. And it kind of gave gay between Lord Blackwood and Daemon. I don't know. Sometimes Daemon gives bisexual energy. Or maybe Matt Smith is just a very flamboyant man, but love it. So we are introduced to the Eyrie, finally. Lady Jane, Arryn of the Vale, basically welcomes Lady Rhaenyra and Prince Joffrey as her ward, along with Viserys and Aegon. And Lady Jane is not happy. She was like, I'm hosting all these children, but I don't have a grown dragon. And Rhaenyra is just like, well, you didn't specify what type of dragon you wanted. You didn't specify you wanted big, large. So, but Rhaenyra only has so many dragons that are big. Like, most of the dragons she has, majority of House Targaryen are babies. So, Rhaenyra's like, they'll grow. Which they will, because at this point, some of these dragons should have been bigger than what Drogon and Viserion and Rhaegar were in Game of Thrones. But anyway, Lady Jane checks her and she's just like, will you just argue with me, but I'm hosting you here? So basically, she just like, I don't like being powerless and all these things. And she welcomes Rhaenyra to dinner. And this scene kind of gave gay too, because Lady Jane Arryn is, after all, a lesbian. Now, we are back on Dragonstone. Rhaenyra and Mysaria are talking. So obviously, Mysaria is on her way to be Rhaenyra's Masters of Whispers. Basically, Rhaenyra is tired of just sitting around and her council of men just kind of talking around her, trying to control the situation and make her a figurehead. And she wants to obviously be like Visenya. But Rhaenyra, darling, you are just too soft. So this is what basically Mysaria tells her. Basically, it's time to spread propaganda. You've done everything on your part. Now we must turn the people of King's Landing against Aegon and the Greens. And so she's telling Rhaenyra it is okay to let others do for you what you cannot do for yourself. And Rhaenyra, she's just politically savvy, and she's done all the politics she can from Dragonstone. And she just needs more of stronger counselors. That's really what it is. But also, do y'all ever realize in the past two episodes, Rhaenyra is always in this library, and we always keep seeing the skull of Meraxes, Rhaenys Targaryen's Aegon's second wife's dragon, his skull. And it's like, why does she keep pulling? It's like there's scenes where she keeps getting closer to Meraxes, and this thing she kept getting closer to Meraxes, and then it's like they cut it off. I feel like there's going to be a scene revealing something with this dragon, and I don't know, it's kind of giving we're going to get a Aegon the Conqueror spinoff. Now, we're moving on to the Green Council. So, Aegon is basically damaged, like knee broke, legs broke, skin burned, just out of it. Anyway, so Prince Aemon is just like, he needs a regent. Obviously, we're in this mess because of Aemon. Aemon, well, who's we? I'm not even Team Green, but Aemon, we've seen that he unleashed Vhagar on Sunfire in him. And it's obvious that Aemon wants to be king. And so, basically, Alicent's the first one to say, well, I put myself up to be regent because I ruled while Viserys was sick. And they're like, well, no. Well, we need someone who needs to be strategic in this war. And plus, they're like, the Dowager Queen, the Queen Mother, is a woman. And it's like, they're saying this because they're misogynistic, but also strategically, why would we put a woman to be regent at this time when we're fighting for Aegon to be the rightful heir against a woman? And that is our claim that Rhaenyra is not the rightful heir because she was not born a male. And now Alicent is seeing the mess that she's playing into. She's seeing what her father set her up for, and she's kind of seeing the effects of it of, like, boo, you were set up. Like, Rhaenyra would have never have touched you and your children. That's all I'm saying for now. Jace is at the twins, controlled by House Frey, which their bridge, I think, is at the neck of the Riverlands, which is, I think, the passage between the North and the Riverlands, I don't know. If you've seen a map of Westeros, you know what I'm talking about. So, basically, he is there to secure the twins so the Northmen, Craig Stark's men, can get through and basically get to Rhaenyra quicker or reach the capital. And basically, the phrase, I believe this is supposed to be Sabitha Frey. Some people say it's not, and then Lord Frey. But they're just like, well, we're not kind of focused on who comes here the fastest. Like, we're more worried about Vhagar. And Chase is like, what the fuck are you talking about? It was just like, you're worried about a dragon that is like literally depleted right now, miles away, versus my dragon that's here, like a few yards away, like looking down at your two little castles. And I was like, no shade. He was clocking it. But it was just like, be for real. Vhagar's bigger, but I get it. And they're like, oh, okay, well. So they were like, well, would you give us some dragons? And Jace is just like, yes. He's like, you'll have corrections as well. I'm like, Daemon is just like, would be like, absolutely no. But anyway, also they want Harrenhal as well because they know Harrenhal is taken by Daemon. And he's just like, really? But he agrees. And he's like, well, my mother would require more than that. And they're just like, what's your price? He was like, he wants bent knees. So Daemon, I think he's going to be stuck in Harrenhal probably for a while. Probably to the end of this season, honestly. Alice is such a curious character, Alice Rivers. But basically, her and Daemon are talking, and basically she's just telling him what this war is costing. Not really specifically the whole kingdom, but just really specifically the Riverlands. The Riverlands has been in war the whole time. And obviously the point is, even though the Targaryens are at war in the Civil War, it's also, you have to realize that Riverlands is at Civil War too, between the Blackwoods and the Brackens. That's really what's happening. While the Tullys are not really like strong vassal lords putting their lords in place. But also, Daemon is stubborn to know that, and he's just very stuck on, oh, I should be the king and stuff. And, Alice is like, well, to think you would not know your mother. It makes you think, like, Alice is reported to be hundreds of years old, and it's like, well, did you know Alyssa Targaryen? Okay, I might have went a little out of order, but Rhaenyra, um, and Bela basically talk. I guess at this point she told Jace that, he's gone to the twins, and they just talk about Rhaenys, and they reminisce about her memories, and they tell the story of how Rhaenys claimed Meleys one night, and Daemon was upset because that was his mother's dragon. And Bela's sad. But the most important part is that Rhaenyra requests that Bela takes to Driftmark and basically tells Corlys that she wants him to be her hand. And I'm just like, here Rhaenyra goes sending Bela on another mission. I know Bela is tired. I know Moondancer is tired. Fast forward, we're now at Driftmark, and of course, Corlys and Bela do the same thing. They reminisce about Rhaenys, and it's really revealed that Corlys attained all his riches from his adventures overseas, the Narrow Sea, to basically make another kingdom for Rhaenys. I think he felt so bad that she had lost the crown to Viserys, he had to make a kingdom of her own for her on Driftmark, basically creating High Tide from the original seat of Driftmark and House Velaryon, and creating that for Rhaenys in his house with the Towns of Hull or whatever. So Rhaenyra has a quick talk with one of her council members on Dragonstone, and she sends him out to basically go and claim Daemon back, tame him back to hurry up and get the men, soldiers. And basically, from the scene you tell they have a very toxic relationship. Like, just tell him, like, he asked him, what do you want me to say? She was like, just tell him, I would like to finish our conversation. And I'm just like, girl, please. Meanwhile, earlier, Rhaenyra sends Elinda Massey after taking Masaria's advice. She sends Elinda Massey to King's Landing, and she meets one of the servants, Aegon, R-worded, Diana. And I'm just like, I think they're going to start, sitting out the propaganda. Alicent visits Aegon, and this is really like a very sad moment because you can realize she doesn't still know how to comfort her first child like she should. And then Aegon just finds the strength to call out mommy, and it's like Aegon never really cared about being king. He just really wanted his parents and his mother's approval, his family. Jace returns back to Dragonstone with Vermax, and Rhaenyra, still tired of sitting in the keep. She knows Jace has left. Jace is just like, she said, why did the twins go? And Jace is just like, so happy to just share his accomplishments with his mom. And basically, they just argue about what their roles are within the war. And she explains she just wants to protect Jace because she doesn't want him to end up like Luke. But finally, they both come up with the plan to gain more dragons, because Rhaenyra needs more dragons, to use the dragon seeds to become dragon riders to get more dragons. And that seems to be the leading plot of the next episode. But I enjoyed doing this review for you guys. This was kind of a good episode, but I definitely will be doing more of this, and this was fun. But see you next time.